Shalom, go by the name of Rab Amath with the Nebraska camp, and this is GMS Any Quickening Spirit. First off, give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Blessed to the elect, double honors to the apostles of GMS. Okay, with that being said, this is a response video to Nate and his cronies, right? You know, because the Apostle Tahar just recently put up a video on how this clown here, basically being presumptuous, and he like the title the apostle has here, our apostle has here, unlearned men, okay, IUIC, unlearned men, and you can tell in his voice, and he's going all over the place, dramatizing. I'm gonna show you how you read in the Bible, how you bring out the truth, and just do what you're gonna do. If you're gonna cut him up, cut him up. And he didn't do that. And as well as the other guy, he didn't know what he was talking about from the jump. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to get into this area of the aspect of understanding that we're going back to Gentiles, and understanding that our people were amongst these other nations, okay, which is why it was a difference between Greeks and Jews. You know what I'm saying? That's why it says all Israel, not of Israel. Okay, and at the same token, it's talking about people who look like Israelites also. Let's read this in Romans 11:25. It says, "For I would not, brethren," okay, that's key right there, "that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceits, that blindness in part is happened to who? Israel." Okay, blindness in part is happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles, right, become in. Okay, so it says blindness part is happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles become in, right? Going into the next verse, "and so all Israel shall be saved." Okay, if the blindness in part happened, the blindness happened to a portion of Israel until the fullness, the wholeness of the Gentiles come in, and then it turns around and says, "So all Israel shall be saved, as it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer," which is Yahweh Shai, right? "And shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob." Okay, so that's the correlation of the Gentiles being Israelites right there. Okay, so in that Galatians, let me see if I can find it. Let me see here if I can find it. That Galatians, when it says it's no difference between Jew nor Greek, that is basically, they have here Strong's 1672. The proper one would be Strong 1675. The proper definition, because they have Helen there. This is the proper one, is really Hellenist, okay? One who imitates the manner and customs or the worship of the Greeks and use the Greek tongue. Used in the New Testament of Jews born in foreign lands and speaking Greek, and just like the elder said, sometimes the blue letter goes off. You know what I'm saying? This is the proper definition. Why we say that, or why do I say that in particular, is because you got to deal with the context. What was just read in Romans, okay, saying that blindness is in part happened to Israel to the fullness of the Gentiles. And if you go to the word Gentile, okay, and it's vague, it doesn't give, it's like either or, okay, but the word Gentiles, ethnos, a multitude, whether men or beasts, associated or living together, a company, troop, swarm, a multitude of individuals of the same nature or genus, nature or genus, okay, the human family, a tribe, nation, people group. In Old Testament, foreign nations not worshiping the true power, pagans, Gentiles. Paul used the term Gentile for Gentile Christians. Okay, so basically these are people, they're in a pagan mindset, or really they took a multitude of individuals of the same nature or genus, is really the same nature in this in context of this verse, and in the context of the New Testament, and Paul being an apostle to the Gentiles. Okay, so that's, you have to deal with the context of the situation. That's why I said the proper definition would be Strong's 1675, which is Hellenistus. Okay, the Greek-speaking Jews. Okay, now that crony tried to go into the history and say it was under Greek oppression. Well, as we can go into we're gonna go into the Wikipedia. I want to read this little portion here based off of Hellenism. It says the conquest of Alexander the Great in the late 14th century BCE spread Greek culture and colonization and process of cultural change called Hellenization over non-Greek lands. Okay, and that, a portion of that land is Israel. Okay, including the Levant. This gave rise to the Hellenistic age. Okay, I'm gonna jump straight to the point to this paragraph right here, or this phrase right here. Okay, and because it's dealing around time of Alexander and Antiochus Epiphanes, in like it says here, the Ptolemaic kingdom. But it says here, in Jewish life in both Judea and the diaspora was influenced by the culture and language of Hellenism. Okay, and in Judea, relations deteriorated between Hellenized Jews and what? Traditionalists. Okay, in that time, Peter, really the 12 disciples, they were the traditionalists. Okay, because until Yahushua rose again, they were not they were charged not to deal with the Gentiles. Okay, because at that point in time they didn't have that spiritual integrity or the spiritual power to deal with the mixed multitudes like that. Okay, so once that spirit got on them, then they began to deal with the Hellenized Jews. Okay, because our people were dealing with dabbling with all these other nations. Okay. All right. So let me see here. I'm going to this last definition, and it's not nothing big, but it says Hellenistus, Strong's G 1675, a Hellenist Grecian Jew, a Hellenist Grecian Jew, a Greek-speaking Jew. That is one who can speak Greek only, and not Hebrew or Aramaic. Okay, so you gotta understand that we were in the times of our people dibbling and dabbling in other languages. Just like you have you got Jakes in Brazil, man. You know, they speak Portuguese. You know, does that mean that they're not Israelites? You know what I'm saying? Or because they're into these other religions. You know, you got Hispanics. You know, they know the so-called white man's the devil. They speak Spanish and things like that out here in Omaha. Does that make them not Israelites? Because they're speaking Spanish and carrying on Spanish customs by worshiping the so-called white Jesus. You know? So I'm going to get this in Acts and just close it out from there. Okay? So like, bear with me for a second. All right, we're gonna go to Acts chapter 11. I believe the apostles always bring this out, but this is a cold cut, man, cold cut sandwich right here. You know, Acts 19 chapter. It says Acts the 11th chapter 19th verse. Okay. It says, now they which were scattered abroad upon the persecution that arose about Stephen traveled as far as Phoenice and Cyprus and Antioch, preaching the word to none but the Jews only. Okay? Phoenice, Cyprus, Antioch. Okay? Continuing on. And some of them were men of Cyprus and Cyrene, which when they were come to Antioch, spake unto the Grecians Okay, that right there, they will put, that's the proper definition that's supposed to go into Galatians, the 3rd chapter. Preaching the Lord Yahweh Shai. Okay? And so that's just going over that, and you know, that's why it's important, because the Bible, the Bible doesn't contradict itself. Okay, it's constant and flowing. You just have to you know, study to show thyself approved, rightly dividing the word of truth. You know, you have to study. You have to line upon line, precept upon precept, because what they're saying, if it's talking about real Greeks, then that makes the scriptures inconsistent, man. You know, and the Most High is not inconsistent. Okay, you leave that to to polite and these Baptist churches and all these other niggas, man. You know what I'm saying? But up over here in GMS, we got the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Okay. And with that being said, we're gonna say all praise to Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. Shalom.